Hello everybody, hope you are doing well. In today's video we are going to be implementing the create board. So when we click on create on board, we should be able to create a board. For example, let's say board 1. Let's say for example we make it secret, then we click on next and we should be able to select the pins we want. And the first issue we need to fix, as you can see, these pins are from our asset folder, they are not from Firebase, so we need first thing to fetch the pins from Firebase, then upload our board. So let's start coding. Okay, so first thing we will go to our create view model, and here we will load the pins. So instead of having this, we will replace it with an empty array. Then we will add a function that enables us to load the pins. So function load pins. It will be async throws, and we already implemented it before, so all we need is to have our pins equal to a function we implemented. So try await user service dot share dot fetch pins, and this should be all to fetch the pins. And in my initializer I can call my function, so I can, or before the check photo permission function, here I can add an initializer and here call my function, so task try await load pins. Okay, and this should be all to be able to display it. So now if I run again, I should be able to see my pins. Okay, so hopefully everything will be working perfectly, so finger crossed. Okay, and hopefully it doesn't take a lot of time, so that we start implementing our upload board function. Okay, so now if I click on create on board, let's call it test. Let's click on next, and as you can see, I see these two pins, but I don't see the image, and the reason for this is probably because I didn't integrate Kingfisher yet. So let's go to our add pin view, and here I think in my pin card I should import Kingfisher. So here I need to import Kingfisher, and instead of image this, I will replace it with kf image, and here I will have URL string and give it view model pins index dot image name. Okay, and now I should be able to see the image. So now if I run again, hopefully it will be working perfectly. Okay, so finger crossed it will be working. Okay, so now if I click on create on board, let's call it test, then go to next. As you can see, I can see my pins, I can select them and deselect them, which is perfect. Okay, the second thing I want to do now is go to my user service here and implement my function. So in other words, I want the function that enables me to upload the board. So I want it to be admin actor because I want it to be executed on the main thread, and then it will be function upload board, and I will pass the board name of type string. I will also give it the pin ID that is also an array of type string. I will pass the tags that will also be an array of string, and I think is secret also that is a boolean. Okay, that is a boolean, and it will be async throws. Okay, so first thing I need is my user ID, so guard let, or I will take this, copy this directly because okay, so guard let, as you can see, user ID dot current user dot user ID. Okay, then we got the pod ref, so like we did for pins and user, we will add a collection for boards. So we will have let board ref, it will be equal to firestore dot collection that is going to be called boards, and then it will return to document. And now I want to pass the board to it, the encoded board, so I need a board, so let board equal to board, and for ID I will pass board ref dot document ID. For board name, the board name, for pin ID, the pin ID, and for secret I will give it secret. I will also add the user ID, and I will pass the user ID, and I think also tags. And tags, I will also pass tags. Okay, perfect. Then I will need to encode it so I can then set the data. So guard let encoded board is equal to try firestore dot encode board, or I meant dot encoder, I apologize, dot encoder dot encode board, else return. And we finish it by setting the data, so try await board ref dot set data, and we give it the encoded board. Perfect so far. Now in my view model I want to call this, so after my function that enables me to load the pins, I want to add a function that enables me to upload board, so function upload board, that is async throws. And here I will call my function that I just created, so try await user service dot share dot upload board, and I will pass the board name. And for pin ID, I don't want to pass the one I just made, so for tags, let's pass, I think it's called selected topics, if I'm not wrong. And for is secret, I will, okay, so let me check what is selected topic. Okay, so it's a set of string, I think. Okay, I got a tag string, so here I will have an array of tags. Okay, and for pin ID, let's for now make it an empty array. And as you can see, let's go to our pins. So as you see, we got a pin for now, but I don't want all the pins. I want only the one that are selected, and I don't want to return the pin. I want to return the pin ID. To do so, it's very easy. We can do var selected pin ID, that is of type array of string. Okay, and here we will filter our pin array, so it will be pins dot filter, and here we want the one where is selected is equal to true, so $0 dot is selected is equal to true. And as you can see, we cannot return expression of type item to type string, so I want the ID. So to do so, I can use .map, and from here return the one with the ID, so $0 dot ID. This way I return an array where I return an array where if in each one I return the ID when is select is true. Okay, so now in my function upload board, instead of an empty array, I can return selected pin ID. Okay, now I need to call my upload board, so I need to go to add pin view. Okay, here, and I need to call it, so I need a task because it's asynchronous. And here I need try wait view model dot upload board. That's the first thing. I need also to have dismiss. And one of the issue that we already faced when working with when we added a pin is because we got two layers, it doesn't need to have one dismiss, you need a double dismiss, so we need to use the one with should dismiss also. View model dot should dismiss all needs to be equal to true. Okay, that's a very important thing to do. And then we need in our create board to, like we did for pins here, to add dot on change and here I will give it view model dot should dismiss all. Okay, I don't really need the old value, so let's make it this. And here I will test if new value is equal true, then I will call dismiss. So far everything is perfect, but we got a little issue that first we need to handle because it's going to cause us a lot of headaches. So what we wrote so far is enough to create a board, but it won't work the way we wanted, and the reason is because if you check the pins we created so far, as you can see, I'm giving the user ID to ID, and I don't have a user ID, and that's a big mistake. So the pins we created so far are wrong, so we can delete this collection of pins. Okay, so we can delete pins, and now we need to go to our pin where we create our pin, so to our user service, to the function this one of upload pin, and here I need first of all to add user ID. So here I need to give it the user ID, and for ID, instead of giving it the user ID, I need to give it the one of the document. So in other words, the one with .document ID, so I think it's pinref .document ID. Okay, so this should be all. Okay, it's asking me, so okay, replace it, so user ID is before image name apparently. Okay, so now let's run it. The first thing we will do is create one or two new pins, then we will test them on our board. So Okay, and hopefully we will create a new collection for pins and a new collection for boards. Okay, and the reason is with user ID being optional, I made the mistake in previous video where I uploaded it as the user ID as ID, and I forgot to upload the user ID, which is a mistake and will cause a lot of headache later. So let's solve it from now. Okay, so first thing, let's create one or two pins. So let's create the watch. I'm going to again call it watch, and I'm going to call it nice Rolex watch. Okay, so I'm going to create this. Okay, perfect, and I'm going to add another pin. Okay, so let's recreate Natasha Romanov. So I'm going to call it Natasha Romanov. For description, best spy ever. And I think okay, so let's create this. Okay, and I think I forgot also to enable the possibility to refresh this, so we will implement it later. So let's close this and rerun it. Okay, so if I refresh this, I should be able to see the pins. Okay, so hopefully the internet connection isn't this slow, so okay, so we got a pin collection, and as you can see, we got a user ID and an ID, and as you can see, the document ID, which is this one. So perfect. Okay, perfect. Okay, we got them, which is perfect. Now we can create a board. I'm going to call it test. I'm going to make it secret. I'm going to select the two pins and click on done. Okay, so now if I go here and refresh, I should have a board collection. Okay, which is perfect. I got a board collection, a board name test, the ID is secret is equal to true, the ID of the two pins. So perfect, that's all for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and subscribe, and as always, stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye bye.